Alright, what's up YouTube, Twitch? This is FJ. Hopefully you like this new setup. I decided to do episode 3 of my online dating series. And today we're going to talk about scams and catfishing. So, just a bit of background. I got back on the apps last summer. Summer 2020. With COVID, social distancing, you know, all the bars and social activities and sports and everything that you can do outdoors closing, like there's really no way you can meet new people these days. I'm self-employed, so my line of work, which is event photography, videography, so just a lot of those events have been canceled. It's not really an industry too where you can really meet people for that kind of thing. If you were to, I don't know if you guys generally meet people while you're working, but you know, just more social aspects. You would generally meet them in social gatherings with friends, doing social activities like sports or whatever it may be. But anyway, COVID has changed all that. We had to go online and look for people on dating apps. So naturally I went back there as well when I became single again. And I have to say too, I've noticed quite a change from the last time I was on the apps, which was years before that. And there's just, I think, what's that word? Like a surge in user base. There's a lot more people signing up. People are lonely, but maybe a lot of new people too who don't have a lot of experience dating online. So I wanted to make this video hopefully as a warning to those new people who may not have been exposed to as many of these scams out there on dating apps. So obviously I only have the input from a guy's perspective, but I do know that a lot of these scams go both ways. A guy can be scammed by a fake account from a woman, or vice versa, or if you're looking for the same, either any kind of direction, guy, girl, guy, girl, guy, whatever it is, the scams can go in all different directions. So I wanted to show you guys some of the scams. It's easy enough too, guys. If you come across a profile that just seems a little off or fishy, doesn't seem so genuine, you know, probably it exists that there's an article about it online, like here, Federal Trade Commission. What do you need to know about romance scams? The Verge wrote an article about another scam with romance, military scams. I specifically pulled this one up too on screen because I've encountered these. These are some of the ones I've encountered. So the first one I'll talk about as a guy, particularly more so, I'm seeing these on Facebook dating, and I've seen them a lot on Coffee Meets Bagel, which is, I guess, primarily more an Asian base. So you'll see an account or a profile, very professional looking photos, very like high-end kind of modeling. What I've also noticed too, again, sorry, these are Asian women on these profiles. Primarily, there's Asians. They'll say they're in Toronto or whatever city you're in, but then you'll see where they're from is like mainland China, somewhere in China. And a lot of it might even have Chinese characters in the profile. And, you know, the photos are very attractive. They look good, obviously. And then there's this kind of like taste of like high fashion, high like brand names and like status and wealth in the photos. So you know, probably swipe right because they're attractive, and it's a very simple kind of a profile. Not much is written, maybe some kind of quote that generates like that they're trying to be successful and push themselves in life, and they want to gain friendship. They really push the whole friendship kind of objective. So this particular scam, you can find a video about it on YouTube too. That's how I got into more and found out that this was actually a scam, because again, I encountered this myself. So they They kind of get you off Coffee Meets Bagel or Facebook dating right away. They'll ask if you want to talk on WhatsApp. So right away, some of the flags you can notice is when the phone number, even though they say it's in Toronto or somewhere local, it's not. The area code on the number that they give you on WhatsApp is not local. It could be, I don't know, somewhere else in a completely different area, or it can be in China. Likely it's going to be a Hong Kong number or a China number. Anyway, they start chatting with you. They're going to send you photos, more photos of themselves, because they want to show and prove to you that they're really them. They may even send you voice messages too. But the thing is, you don't really know if that's really them, if they have a collection of these photos, and if the voice message is also them. It could be pre-recorded somewhere. So what I've noticed too, they get you off the app right away so that they can get you on the WhatsApp, direct contact, and then they'll delete you on whatever app you were on. So that, they'll probably say that they don't want to talk to anyone else. There's just too many people. But it's really, I think, so you can't report that account once you finally get to the point where you need to report that it's a scam or whatever. You can't anymore because they've already deleted you on the dating app. So they push friendship, and they're, always kind of telling you how successful they are. They're probably running their own business, whether it be like makeup or fashion store or something where they're running it from long distance. So they're here in Canada. Studying immigration is a common story too, or they're thinking of like immigrating more of their family here, but they're running a successful business in Hong Kong or China. And then they start to talk about how, because with COVID, we all need extra income, so they start mentioning how they're into trading. So they're into either foreign exchange trading, forex trading, or digital currency, Bitcoin, things like that. And they go in on a daily basis, and they have a mentor. They speak about they having a mentor that teaches them and gives them tips, like kind of like knowledge base, so that they can make a lot of money every day. So they'll always mention it too, how successful they were that day. Oh yeah, I spent time on my business, but now I'm doing my trading, and today I made however much money, $2,000, $3,000, and you're all like, great, congratulations. So I mean, obviously at this point, I've seen a number of these accounts. I've come across a number of these accounts, and you try to be nice. At least I try to be nice, but I'm already kind of cautious because things kind of don't add up to what you probably are hoping for in these apps. But they are responsive, and there's exchange. I get it, man. Like, it's lonely right now online, and even with COVID, meeting people, you can't meet people, so you're more inclined to like hang on to these exchanges because it's fun. It's kind of like the dating game again, or it's like the dating scene. You're flirting, or you're going back and forth and sending photos or whatever like that. It feels exciting to be kind of in that dating scene again. So that's why you're probably hanging on to these, even though it's all the flags are kind of like going off, but you entertain it with caution. Anyway, that's what I did until the point where this particular person mentioned foreign trade, and they were like, you should give it a try, and I'm like, nah, I'm good, thank you. But then they keep mentioning it, how it's like, oh, the next day. They play the long game, so they want you to build they want to build your trust in them. So you hear about all the success they have with their mentor, and then as you hear more about their success, they're like, here, if you want, you could just install this trading app. I can teach you. It'll just be like a friendship thing. I just want to help out my friends, and we can see if we share the same values or something like that. I don't even know if if they're using like Google Translate, if it's all like Chinese or whatever it is. Like, you don't know who you're talking to on the other end, but you want to believe it's the person's photos that you're seeing and the person who's complimenting you and all that stuff. So basically the story is you install this app, you start doing this trial of these little trades or whatever, and you build confidence using the app. They build confidence, they build your confidence in them, and then eventually, when it comes time to making a big trade or something like that, they they get you to go in with real money, and apparently that's how people lose money. I didn't get that far, obviously. Once I YouTubed it, I checked out Google, and I found out about the scam. I try to see how far they go with it, and then I call them out on it after. They usually just end up getting upset or delete, or they try to make me feel bad, like, oh, you don't even believe this is me or whatever. They turn it around, they spin it around to make you feel bad about it. Maybe they think they can guilt you to like change your mind about it again. Who knows? I haven't gotten that. Well, I don't go farther than that. I usually get deleted at that point. So yeah, now, it's a little unfortunate because if there is someone who is rather attractive, good-looking, Chinese, doing immigration, who has that same kind of base story that I said, but let's just say that person's actually genuine, well, I won't even bother because so many of these scam Asian accounts exist now, and you come across them daily. I see them on Tinder. I see them on Facebook dating. I said the most. Coffee Meets Bagel. OKCupid now has them. I don't see them on Bumble, but probably because Bumble requires like a verify aspect or something like that. Anyway, so that's the Asian one. Another one I actually recently discovered, which is why I pulled up this military romance scam. So it's in a way it's catfishing. I've noticed that the photos generally, to start with, are really attractive, and I mean it's to the point where it's like you question right away: is this real? Why is this person on a dating app? So it's like, do they even really need the dating app? It was easier kind of to decipher that before COVID, because yeah, what are these really attractive, successful, modeled-looking type people doing on dating apps? But because it's COVID now, it's a little bit more warranted, or it makes a little bit more sense because, well, they're not meeting anybody, or are they really coming across the same kind of potential people as they used to before COVID? So whatever, you see the account, you find them attractive, it's a very visual type of exchange, so you're going to swipe right. And if you match, get a little bit of an ego boost, and then you see where it goes. But anyway, you're going to come across some of these accounts. A lot of the times they just want to promote their Instagram, and then you go to their Instagram, you get more followers or hits or whatever, and then sometimes they might even have their own OnlyFans page or whatever like that, and they're just trying to promote to get more followers. Obviously, on these apps, there's a lot of lonely guys out there, so I'm sure it works. I'm a firm believer that if something exists out there and it's something that you see persistently in the dating world or dating app world, it's probably because it works. Like an example, kind of off topic, is when women complain constantly about getting unsolicited, like nude pictures or dick pictures sent to them. And it's like, why do men do that? That's ridiculous. And you hear about that, like, that's insane. Why would some guy just send on some unsolicited dick pic? And then you have to realize it's because at some point it works. There are some women out there who are open to that kind of gesture, and it's more of that hookup culture. And this is what a lot of like these apps have become, like Tinder, or I don't know if Match and Plenty of Fish are like that. Plenty of Fish I ended up uninstalling simply because there was just too many like bots, like fake accounts trying to get you to sign up on some other site with your credit card so that you can verify your identity, but it won't charge you. But they basically, again, really attractive photos. They say they want to meet with you and have a casual physical relationship, and very forward and open about the whole sexual experience with you. And they say all the, I guess, key words to kind of get you excited about the exchange, but really they then spring it up like, we're down to meet, let's meet up, but I just need you to sign up on this website first. You just have to put a credit card. It's free, you won't get charged, but it just helps to verify your identity. And then once you sign up there, then we can meet up. But then I would never, and I've never signed up in anything like that, but you look it up on Google, so eventually you sign up and then you get random charges on your credit card, and you don't know where to trace it from, maybe you could dispute it at that point, but you personally entered your information there. So I don't really know how that works, but somehow the scams continue to persist, and you come across more and more of these accounts because it works at some point. People fall for this thing. It's sad. So yeah, plenty of fish, too many. I even got hacked. Like somehow I woke up one day and I opened up the app and someone was using my account, and it showed that I wasn't in Toronto anymore. I was in like Miami, Florida or something, and my photo completely changed. I wasn't even me anymore. So anyway, sorry, that's a second example. I figure that's too obvious. If you ever come across anyone who's asking you to enter your credit card information on a different site to verify who you are, obviously fraud, guys. Like don't even entertain that. Maybe nice to look at first, but don't waste your time. So there's two already. But sorry, back to the military one, which is kind of like a similar kind of scam. So a story that you might hear as a background instead of the whole having my own business, trying to immigrate into Canada, whatever like that. Another one is that they're off in the military. So again, this is this article that I was reading about. And so they immediately also get you off the app, get you on WhatsApp. But then because they're in the military, they can't really video call you, they can't voice call you, but they're sending you photos. And again, all these photos, same person matching whatever, but in a professional level. Like really attractive. I guess attractive enough where you could probably find these people online if you really searched, but not popular enough where it's not easy to do. So, but long story short, with the military scam is they build your trust. They build all this like commitment with you because of the back and forth and exchanging of photos, and they build your trust. Eventually they start to say that they need funds for whatever it is on base, or some medical expense, or to help out their family. And that's definitely at some point, I wouldn't even come close to that point where they can even bring up the whole the money issue. So one thing I think I've really started to find useful, which I didn't think before, is the whole Google reverse image search, or any kind of engine that lets you upload a photo and then reverse lookup to see if those photos exist. So if you come across again an account, really attractive photos, and you read the profile, I'll just take for example this particular account that I came across. Very nice photos, and then the bio itself sounded very like vulnerable and very like ready to have a strong and serious one-on-one commitment. So it's like too good to be true. Like someone really that attractive looking for something serious like this, and you come across this on a dating app and you match. I mean, I know it's a self-esteem thing, or like your own self-confidence, but just be wary when you come across something like that. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But then you start chatting with them, and based on, I guess, the personality you get from the photos or the way the bio was written, something in the chat just doesn't match with that. Like it's like the way they type, maybe the English is kind of broken. And then so maybe you give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just poor typers. They're not really good at typing English or sending text messages or whatever. But I don't know. Eventually exchanges kind of seem, one day they're very short and they're not very like engaged with you. But another day, maybe when it's like your turn, they're all up in your face about like how affectionate they want to be, or they start calling you right away. They'll call you like darling or babe or love or whatever like that. They use all like the emotional captive words. I don't know. Basically, if you look up, I don't want to go too much into detail because obviously, guys, you could just look these up. Just look up military romance scams and dating apps or whatever, and it'll explain all the kind of the flags that you'll notice. But of course, if anyone's ever asking for money, unfortunately, even if you've built some time and effort and commitment there, just don't do it. You really need to meet up with people. I guess I'm coming across a lot of these accounts again because Locally here, if you're not having a lot of luck matching with people who are closer to you, you have this tendency to increase your radius. Also, with COVID, you can't really necessarily meet up with a lot of people anyway, so then you're more open to having a long distance pen pal type of exchange with people all around the world. I've made a lot of friends that way, matching with people from all around the world. And we're still friends, and we still, have each other's social media. We're supportive of each other when things are down or things are rough. So it's definitely still possible to make like actual friends and like build meaningful relationships and friendships with people, but none of them involved exchanging money. None of them involved sending money or whatever like that. Sad ones too. Another one I read, a long distance one where they build your trust, saying that they're starting their own company or business where they're from, and because you've built this like relationship together, he wants to like, or he or she wants to share the profit with you. So then they get you to open a bank account locally to where they are, and then they say something like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get my funds and my profits transferred into this account for you," but then sometimes they'll ask for you to get some money for like business expenses or whatever it is they need to set up the company. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, yeah, well, he's making the money already. The money's into the account and whatever. But all these wire transfers or these like certified checks or whatever being deposited into the account that you think is he's responsible for, it's under your name. So then it starts to bounce, and then all the banks start chasing you to pay it back because somehow the expenses have already been paid for, but there's penalties and all this stuff, and at that point you can't reach the person anymore. All these charges come rushing into you, and the money's gone, and that person's already left. So it's like, it's really sad because somehow corruption can get into anything, and with how lonely people are right now with COVID, people are still trying to take advantage of that. Like when you're down in your luck and like you're weak and vulnerable, some people have found a way to still take advantage of that and try to make money out of that. So it's unfortunate that stuff exists. So whenever anything financial comes into play, guys, just if you want, keep it going and try to dig a little bit and spec. That's what I do. I kind of see how far it'll go before I can see how much information I can get, just to be able to warn other people about it, or make a video like this, share it with the world. The next thing I want to touch, scams again, anything money related, just drop it. But catfishing. So I've come across a number of catfish accounts over the years. Like even the first time I was on Plenty of Fish, and nowadays it's still happening. These catfish accounts. And I'm going to say these catfish accounts aren't necessarily after your money. Maybe, if it gets to that point. But I think from what I've deduced is it's actually a person on the other side. Probably somebody who doesn't feel so good about themselves or has a very low self-esteem or self-perspective or image on their own self-image. And so they feel the need for attention. They will use someone else's photos. And again, this is when reverse image lookup is really helpful. If things just don't kind of line up, or if you like, it's hard to tell because if they have a bank of photos that they're using to send to you, you kind of think it is, but they tend to avoid direct phone calls or direct like video calls, FaceTime calls, because obviously it's not how they look like. So that's when you start to wonder if everything is being sent is kind of like pre-recorded. Or obviously another big flag for all these scam accounts and these catfish is they don't have social media. A lot of them will say they've been hacked or something, or they just don't do social media because of some past trauma or past drama, whatever it is. They explain why they don't use social media anymore, which is sometimes true. Sometimes it's very true. A lot of people avoid social media because of that. But again, you just kind of piece two and two together. the quality of these photos or whatever it is, for these people to not be on Facebook or Instagram. It doesn't kind of line up all the time. And you get it too, but from the exchange. If a conversation you feel like you're carrying more, and maybe the responses are a little short, or maybe just the story seems like they're building on a lie more and more. And I think the purpose of the whole catfish experience is because they like the attention. They like feeling like they're being chased or valued. And maybe the ultimate goal there is, I don't know what the mindset is. Like, I've never done it, but I'm guessing maybe they think that you could potentially fall in love with them only because of who they are inside without having to know what they look like. But again, it's built on a lie right from the beginning. So how genuine is that? But that's my take on it. That's what I think. Like, a catfish who's not after your money, but someone who just wants your attention. It usually doesn't last very long. I think with the experience that I had that I can remember, like, a date was set. We were going to meet up, but then they just kind of last minute backed out and said, oh, they're not ready for a relationship. And then they're like, I'm gonna get off. Good luck, I wish you the best, but I don't think this is right. And then they delete their account, or they delete you. And then you start to wonder, like, where did that come from? Like, everything kind of was going well, or whatever. They do seem genuine, but then they kind of just back out at the end like that. I mean, it kind of sounds like ghosting too, what I just described, and that very much exists these days too. People just losing interest right away. I do think that's more on the lines of someone who's kind of like searching multiple at a time. They're probably talking to a lot of different people, and then they find someone they like more. And rather than the decency, let's say you put in the time to go back and forth and exchange and talk about, your interests, and like you flirt a lot, and there's a lot of like information exchanged back and forth, and you get to know each other, but all of a sudden they just ghost you, they just delete you, or block you in all mediums that they know how. That's probably because they just found someone else, and they lacked that kind of decency and just like kindness to just be like, hey, I know this was kind of cool and this was fun, but I just want to let you know, met someone and we're gonna take it seriously, whatever, good luck, something like that. I mean, I've done that if I've been talking to a number of people, but then you really click with someone else, you're gonna go after the one you want, the one you feel is like best for you. But I'm not just gonna delete and block the other person or other people, whoever you're talking to. If you've already built that kind of exchange and it feels like there's a friendship at least there, or a relationship, it's not very nice to just delete them and like discard them as if they didn't matter. This world would be a lot better if everyone just practiced a little bit more decency, a little bit more empathy. Like you would not want that to happen to you, so why would you do it to someone else? Anyway, I know I've been like rambling nonstop for the past 29 minutes, but hopefully that helps, guys. Again, beware out there. I know these apps are what all we got right now to try and meet people. I'm still on them. I'm trying to find out other mediums, hopefully expose myself to potential partners or something, or partner, a potential, what, you know what I mean? A relationship, a serious relationship, whatever like that. But right now, the easiest venue to let yourself be known by a large potential a population of potential, potential partners for you. I think my mind's kind of trailing off in a tangent right now. But basically, what I'm trying to get at is the dating apps have, a large selection of people looking for technically the same thing. Some people might be on there to look for a hookup. Some people might be on there to look for a serious relationship, and everything in between. I still believe that it's very much possible to find someone genuine and build a genuine caring relationship on these apps, whether it be local or long distance. It's possible. I've seen people get married from apps, so don't lose hope. It exists. It just takes a little bit of patience. You know, I have other videos if you guys are curious about like how I left the dating apps. I'll put that link in the description if you're curious of what it was like the first time I went on, and like the male experience versus the female experience on these dating apps. But nowadays, I'm back on. I'm trying to put more effort to like at least swipe and look at profiles and send messages, because if you don't do that, like who else is gonna come across and see you? So I do think it takes some effort. It takes some input from you guys. For females, it's probably different, especially particularly if you're an attractive female. You probably got bombarded. You're bombarded with likes. You never have to go a swipe left or right, because every time you swipe right, it's probably gonna match with somebody. But anyway, good luck out there, everybody. It's a tough world. It's February. Valentine's Day is around the corner. Hopefully, for those who are still alone, don't feel too down about it. Just stay positive. Give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. But yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. Stay in good spirits, guys. Just something different visually. Again, check out Google. I'll link these articles that I found in the description as well if you want to read up on potential scams you might come across. Protect your money. Thanks, guys. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the next one comes out. I stream a lot more on Twitch live now. I do various things on Twitch, Duolingo, play games, just chatting. And now we do have a weekly podcast on Thursdays called Bratcast with a tight circle of group of friends at 10:30 p.m. Eastern every Thursday. So peace out. Thanks. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. That was a bit rough. No edit.